I appreciate y'all. Look, I had to dig out my Wild and Out shirt. I had to come on support Nick Cannon. We're gonna support Nick Cannon while 50 Cent is over there dragging Nick, honey. Look, I don't even know what Nick said. I didn't even do the research and listen to the audio because it all happened so quick. It's like he did the radio show with Professor Griff, a Public Enemy. He said what he said about, I guess, black people were the chosen ones. I don't know what he said. I'm just going off of what I read. And now, all of a sudden, it's like Nick was canceled, like off of all his jobs. And we talked about this briefly on Patreon the other day because I was liking Nick. Nick is like, and I hate to call, you know what? I hate calling like a black person like the black somebody else. But I mean, a lot of times that's in entertainment, that's how it goes. We were talking about like Angela Bassett, how a lot of people always refer to her as like the black Meryl Streep, even though she's a lot more, her training is, equitable to Meryl Streep, and she should be getting paid what Meryl Streep gets paid, but she doesn't. But Nick, to me, is like the black Ryan Seacrest. Ryan Seacrest is everywhere. He's on every job. He's on every show. He's on the morning show, the night show, the noon show. He's hosting all the shows. And that's the same thing Nick is. And you got to give the man his props. Nick has been out there. He's been working. He's been grinding. He's been creating shows for all these different networks. And, he is something to be admired. And in the midst of doing all that, Nick also protests. He also protests. So, when Nick goes on his radio show, I mean, I'm assuming, it's outside the realm of, all of his other jobs. This is like his passion project. He talks about things that are important to him. And apparently, that's not, look, when you getting checks from other people, sometimes you gotta, monitor what you say, because there are clauses, there are fine prints that you may not know that you are breaking until you break them. Well, Nick broke some fine prints, and Viacom booted him from everything. Now, one thing that I found interesting is, in the days that follow all the things that were going on, ViacomCBS booted him from everything. Then they were saying he might lose his job on The Masked Singer. He might lose it. He might lose that. But Nick eventually, after, writing this long diatribe and the first demanding an apology, he finally wrote an apology. He wrote an apology. To about a day after, let me read it, y'all. Let me just go ahead and read. Cannon posted an apology a day after ViacomCBS terminated a long-term relationship it had with the star, which included the long-running sketch comedy series Nick Cannon's Wild and Out. ViacomCBS made the move following an exchange between Cannon and former Public Enemy member Professor Griff on the June 30th episode of Cannon's podcast, Cannon's Class. At one point, Cannon said black people are the true Hebrews and talked about anti-Semitic conspiracy theories involving the Rothschild family. Now, one of the quotes in the podcast to which was so controversial was, "It's never hate speech. You can't be anti-Semitic when we are the Semitic people," Cannon said on the podcast. "When we are the same people who they want to be, that's our birthright. We are the true Hebrews." So after he said that, a lot of Jewish people were like, they were really upset. They felt like, if a white person had said that about a black person, it would have been a different conversation. So they felt like, in my opinion, it was almost like they were just waiting on an opportunity to cancel Nick. Nick got too much power. Nick got too many shows. Nick got too much going on. So anyway, despite all that, he posted an apology on Wednesday, which was yesterday, stating that how he felt ashamed for those statements. Cannon is said to have been meeting with a lot of Jewish leaders in light of the controversy. And in his statement, he said, "First and foremost, I extend my deepest and most sincere apologies to my Jewish sisters and brothers for the hurtful and divisive words that came out of my mouth during my interview with Richard Griffin. They reinforce the worst stereotypes of a proud and magnificent people, and I feel ashamed of the uninformed and naive place that these words came from. So he also removed the video. As you can see, when I first logged on, I was looking for the video. I found it. I don't know if y'all want to listen to it, but it is what it is. I don't know if I want to listen to it right now either. But he also said, while the Jewish experience encompasses more than 5,000 years, and there is so much I have yet to learn, I have had at least a minor history lesson over the past few days, and to say that it is eye-opening would be a vast understatement. I want to express my gratitude to the rabbis, community leaders, and institutions who reached out to me to help enlighten me instead of chastising me. I want to assure my Jewish friends, new and old, that this is only the beginning of my education. I am committed to deeper connections, more profound learning, and strengthening the bond between our two cultures today and every day going forward. Now, it seems that his apologies at least was okay for Fox, because Fox top-rated reality competition series The Masked Singer confirmed on Wednesday that Cannon could keep his job over there. They said we good, we not gonna do nothing after his apology. Now, what's interesting is that ViacomCBS is over Wild 'N Out. As you know, Nick had also posted that, he was demanding control of his Wild 'N Out brand, because if they fire him, they can move on with the brand because it is theirs. Another thing that we were talking about on Patreon, shout out to my Patreon people in the building, that I found interesting is that apparently MTV or somebody had trademarked Wild 'N Out like 2 years ago. Look, it's another one of those situations like the Queen's Court, somebody trademarked it and the owner didn't trademark it. Now Nick is demanding ownership of his intellectual property, even though he did not trademark, MTV did. Now it's like, well, Nick, what was going on in your mind that you didn't protect your interests? Was you just blinded by the checks? Was you blinded by the contracts every year because he was in such, a good spot with everyone? I'm sure he never saw this coming. Look, the show been on 10 years, 12 years, and nobody thought to trademark the thing until 2 years ago, and now MTV has control of it. So he's demanding control of it. But I don't know if they're going to be still in talks after this apology. I'm assuming that's one of the reasons why he made this apology, because when you walk away from your baby, something you created, I can see myself walking away straight from the A. I could not. And to think, like, if MTV holds that trademark, they can, boot Nick, bring whoever they want to host it, some corny whoever, put whoever they want on it, and this creation that he has curated all of these years is now theirs to do with as they please. It is so crazy. It is crazy, but hopefully things will work out. Things will work out for Nick Cannon. Meanwhile, 50 Cent. Hold on, let me put this in here real quick. 50 Cent, y'all know 50 Cent is trolling, honey. 50 Cent been dragging Nick about his, losing his job. Hold on, what did he say? Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up. Oh, here it is, right here. 50 Cent went on Instagram, as he often does, and he posted this on his Instagram and said, he added Michael Blackson. He posted Michael Blackson on Wild 'N Out. He said, sign the fucking contract, let go, I ain't got all day, and shit better be funny. Brands on cognac, Leach Demore, whatever. And so Nick Candy responded, haha, it be your own people. Feels like when Los Angeles Confidential came in and took over G Unit. Damn, homie, in high school you was the man, homie. So Nick and 50 are going back and forth on the Instagrams because 50 was trying to be funny. Look, let me see. It's a fifth Instagram account. 50 jokingly posted a picture of comedian Michael Blackson and said he has a new show starring him called Out Wild instead of Wild 'N Out. So yeah, 50 must know about that trademark issue. You know, 50 shady. 50 is real shady. But again, I digress. You said 50 need to shut the hell up. You know he always got something to say. You know he always got something to say, child.